let's get into the blame game because I do want to get a sense of who do you think was most at fault for this loss, or evenly divided, whatever the case may be. What does your blame pile look like?
Who you got, Gary? I got a few people. I got one I'm gonna go at though.
I kind of know who it is, but continue, Gary.
Go ahead, Gary.
No, it's collective to me.
Ooh,
I thought Mazzulla taking out, like Mazzulla letting his bench play early in the fourth quarter. Mazzulla taking out Porzingis for the final play. I felt like Jaylen Brown was just he got in early foul trouble. He picked up his fifth in the third quarter. Then he came in and tried to okay, well, I'm going to score my way into a good game. And I just thought he made some plays. Drew Holiday with some, not only the two missed free throws, but a couple of curious turnovers. Sam Hauser 1 for 9. He got a lot of open shots. And that final play of regulation where he took us a 30-footer, I mean, that's kind of a testament to what we're talking about here in terms of just you just need a two. And then you try to end the game with a 30-footer. That's a hero ball shot. I'm not saying Hauser trying to play hero ball, but he just okay, I'm going to shoot this.
Also,
right?
Why was that shot for him in general? I didn't.
I just Tatum got doubled. Tatum dribbled down. He was at the sideline for whatever reason.
Which was a problem. That was a bad decision on Tatum.
No, the sideline is another defender. Hayward was behind him. And then here comes LaMelo Ball leaving Hauser alone and comes and really aggressively doubles. Mm-hmm. So Tatum passes to Hauser, who could have passed, but he's okay, I guess I got to shoot.
He knows the time's coming, yeah.
And he airballs a 30-footer. That's just a terrible execution play. You don't dump it in. You don't get a good shot attempt. You don't get to the rack and try to get a free throw. Nothing. And then you just leave the door open for Charlotte to win the game in overtime. So I felt like it was a collective effort. Those guys looked tired. They looked disengaged after they took a 108-101 lead. And it was everybody. Tatum getting beat on the back door by Hayward. Guys not rebounding, letting Mark Williams look like he was Shaq in there in terms of grabbing Moses Malone in his prime, looking like, just grabbing everything, not post Malone.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not even funny. You know what? I should leave right now.
Did he say post Malone? No, I said Moses Malone.
Not Jeff Malone. Not Post.
I feel so disrespectful.
I post Malone. Moses Malone. So looking like they just did everything they could. And basically, and then, as I said, there's Miles Bridges, okay, let me take this. And that's how you lose. That's the basketball gods talking. You let these fools hang around long enough that they're going to make a play and they're going to win the game. And that's the Celtics collective blame. Jaylen, a little bit of Jason down the stretch. He scored 45. Sam Hauser going 1 for 9. Porzingis missing some key free throws early. Holiday missing some key free throws late. Blame goes all around.
Big pie.
Yeah.
FanDuel is the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Gary, I love you, brother, and I respect you, but you damn dirty wrong in this one. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Let's see who he has.
The point that the blame can go all around, that there's truth to that. But when you start going through these cats one by one, your $300 million man did not get it done. Jaylen was horrible in this game, Gary.
Yeah.
Horrible. When you got as many made shots as fouls committed, you're not having a good night. You're not having a good night. And the thing about Jaylen, not only was he not making shots, he was making a negative impact at both ends of the floor. Not making shots, not good defense, and just basically playing like crap. And they needed him on a night when you don't got D. White, you don't got Al's defense. You needed your number 2 guy to play like a number 2 guy. He played more like a number 22 guy. He was horrible in this game. And I love Jaylen Brown. And he is one of the top. And we went back and forth a little bit on this on the Garden Report. I think Jaylen Brown is a top 25 player in this league. On some nights, he could be top 10, top 15 if you got to.
Argument can be made. Yeah.
A player with that type of skill set should not be going 5 for 17 against the damn Charlotte Hornets. I'm sorry. No disrespect. Actually, no, forget that. I am disrespecting Charlotte. I ain't even trying to front like I'm not. I am absolutely disrespecting the Charlotte Hornets. Jaylen should have been better than that. And his inability to even be remotely better than that was a big reason why they lost. He had 13 points, and he's had less than 15 points in back-to-back games. He did that once last year. I think he's only had, since he's been a regular starter, there have been very few games where Jaylen in the last 2-3 years had back-to-back games where he scored so little. Typically, when he has like a low-scoring game in the teens, he bounces back with a big night. That was not the case, obviously, in Charlotte. I'm very interested to see what he does against Milwaukee because he has to be significantly better than we've seen him in these last 2 games. Because if not, they catch.
What's going on? There's a bigger question there.
They're catching another L. And the thing about Sam Hauser, and I know he was horrible shooting the ball, but you know what? Peyton Pritchard was not. So you still got comparable production from that particular wing guard position.
Yeah.
Porzingis, and again, a lot of guys were good, but Jaylen Brown, listen, a lot of guys stunk. Jaylen Brown's stinctitude, if that's a word, it is right now, was a little bit higher than the rest of the guys. That's all I'm saying.
Well said. Well said.
No,
as we transition. Oh, yeah. No, as we transition. Sorry. Now look, we just couldn't look. His mic changed the moods. What are you gonna say?
No, I agree that he was bad, and I look at his November numbers, and he's struggling. 43% from the field, 30% from the 3-point line, 20.3 points, as opposed to the first 3 games in October. The first 3 games of the season, he was 25 points a game. His offensive rating this month, 101, which is not good. So he's struggling. And, 21 for 70 from the 3-point line, averaging almost 3 turnovers a game, 26 turnovers in last 10 games. So, and rebounding, I mean, he's, his rebounding is down, and if I look at Jaylen in 13 games, Jaylen has 6 offensive rebounds. Like he's gotta be better than that. He's gotta do other little things. Get your T second, but you cannot have in 13 games a total of 440 minutes, 6 offensive rebounds. He's got to be better. And you're right, and I said, I just think he's trying to mold into the offense. I think he's got this well. You know what? It's my turn to lead us. And I don't think he's being selfish. I don't think he wants all the stardom. I just feel like he feels like that's the way he's got to do his part. And there's going to be some nights where it's like, Jaylen, we don't need you to score. We need to get offensive rebound. We need you to get a stop, a block, a steal, that type of thing. Like, we need you to make a play. And, that's not just a long 3 or a dunk. I mean, he tried 2 or 3 times to dunk on Mark Williams. One time he got blocked. The other time he got fouled. So he was trying to improve a point, but there's got to be more to contributing to the game for Jaylen than a thunderous dunk or a long 3. There's got to be a steal. There's got to be something else intangible at times that can keep the team in the game and win a game that's not like scoring major points.
I thought about his underwater workouts, and then I also thought about, this is where my mind goes sometimes, like the Bruce Lee quote where it's like, be like water, be able to adapt to the environment. And that's something that obviously he can work out underwater, but I think the same goes on the floor. What can you do, to your point, Gary, when you can't score, so you can be like water for this team, because that's what they're going to need you to be if you guys are going to win a championship.